All right. Welcome everyone to our webinar. We're going to give a couple of minutes for people to finish logging in, and then we'll get started. We have a lot of content to go over today, so I'm excited to be here. Based on San Francisco, hopefully you're doing well wherever you are in the world. All right, I see people logging in. Thanks and welcome to our webinar. We're here to talk about Forma for planning and building design. And I'll be displaying what Forma is and give you a little introduction on our forthcoming building design module, which I'm very excited about. All right, I think it's a couple of minutes past the hour. Let's get started. My name is Cesar Escalante. I'm Technical Marketing Manager for Building Products at Autodesk. I act as a spokesman of innovation coming out of our pipeline. And I come from industry. I'm a registered architect based in San Francisco and been with Autodesk for about 5 years. A few things before we get started. Make sure that you post your questions in the Q&A panel. I'm not alone here. I have a team of product support people in the background. Thanks, Indigo and Robin and Alexandra. They will be ready to answer any question. There's also a QR code on the screen. If you want to continue the conversation after the webinar, please go to our forums where you can engage with more people and our product that's interested in this topic. And anyone who signed up for this webinar will receive a recording 48 hours after today. Before I get started, let's launch a couple of live polls to get a sense of who you are and how you get to know our product. The first question is, help us understand you better. Why are you here? Maybe you're here because you want to learn more about Forma Site Design, or you want to learn more about it. If you are here to get started on site design, maybe you're here to understand more about Forma design, you stay up to date, or you're interested more in our forthcoming solution building design. I see 75 of the people responding, so I think give you a few more seconds. All right, so it looks like most of you are here to understand what building design is. And on the second place is that you are new to this Forma Site Design and you want to learn more. Excellent. This webinar is geared for someone who's never used Forma and who wants to understand what the capabilities are and also give you a preview of our forthcoming building design. So I think we are very well aligned there. Let's look at the other question. And it's about Autodesk Forma awareness. If you heard about Forma, how do you know about it? Maybe you heard about email, social media, events. It's available on your AEC Collection. Maybe you heard from a colleague or a friend or from a website or somewhere else. All right, I see 50 people responding. Let's give a few more seconds. All right, I think we are at a quorum here. We have 75% respondents. And let's see, most people is aware of Forma because they hear it from an event or from the AEC Collection. That's awesome. The third place is from Autodesk website. and via email. All right, thanks everyone for connecting with us. I have to show the safe harbor statement, which in a nutshell, it's a release that you will be seeing forward-looking statements of our products. And as you know, these plans may change over time, so don't make purchase decision based on these forward-looking statements. All right, let's get started. This slide captures what the design and make platform is. As announced several years ago at Autodesk University, Autodesk is building 3 foundational cloud platforms: Fusion for manufacturing, Forma for AEC, and Flow for media and entertainment. And what connect all of these platforms together is a common data layer called a common data layer in the cloud. For AEC, Forma is becoming, our outcome-based environment that's powered by granular data and AI, which allow us to connect early design with BIM and CAD. And this is the foundation that enable more integrated, more intelligent workflows across the entire life cycle. Speaking of life cycle, our vision is to make Forma the AEC cloud platform, supporting all stages in the design from planning, design to construction and operations. In practice, this vision means that all your Autodesk data lives in one centralized cloud platforms, including conceptual design, Revit models, ACC project data, everything you need to make your data connected in a single spot. This creates a working environment where our tools and even third-party tools can talk to each other seamlessly, enabling data interoperability across design cycle, across different workflows. Now, over the past few months, in particular during Autodesk University, we've taken major steps for more unified design to construction experience. So at Autodesk University, we announced that the ACC has officially become part of Forma. This integration means that now you can move data between Forma and ACC with shared navigation, common folder structure that keep the design and construction fully connected. This is a significant milestone in unifying our ecosystem for AEC. We also launched the release of Forma Data Management, which is built on top of Autodesk Docs, which expand the scope of our connected data using next generation cloud technology. And in the next wave of updates, we are working on making connection and collaboration more streamlined. We're introducing Forma Connected Clients, which will bridge desktop applications like Revit into the cloud, ensuring that Forma data and Forma analysis is available directly and connected with the Revit environment. So it's about removing the friction between early concept design and detailed documentation. And another major highlight is, we're here to talk about what Forma Site Design is and Forma Building Design. We're also enabling Forma Board as a collaborative workspace, supporting the Forma platform. And we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. So a lot of changes coming up next year, and we are at an inflection transitional point where we're making our Forma platform a reality. So stay tuned for more offerings released next year. And today we'll focus on an introduction of what site design is and building design. So let's talk about what Forma Site Design is and what delivers today. First and foremost is the ability to provide and access contextual data. From Forma, you have full context information at your fingerprints right away. Forma Site Design allow you to pull high-quality terrain, 3D buildings, parcels, roads, railways from anywhere in the world, so you don't waste time setting up a project from scratch. It's also connected to Revit via some plugin integration, so you can move the geolocated information directly into our Revit detail BIM environment. Next, we have fast, intuitive 3D modeling capabilities. You can create and iterate on massing studies directly in Forma, or you can connect with existing tools like Rhino, SketchUp via OBJ imports or IFC imports. The goal here is to allow you to use whatever tool you need and use Forma as a way to connect the dots with further analysis and detailed design. Environmental analysis is another big pillar. Forma allows you to integrate environmental feedback into your conceptual design studies. The type of analysis we support is sun hours, wind, daylight, operational carbon, and much more. These analyses help you compare design options, understand the trade-offs, and make informed design decisions earlier in the design process when changes are inexpensive and you're really focused on arriving to the best outcomes. Forma board, which I just mentioned earlier, is where teams and clients come together. You can collect ideas, metrics, visuals, and feedback in one shared white workspace where everyone stays aligned. And finally, Forma is open by design. With our open API and a growing ecosystem of extensions, you can build or customize Forma to workflows that matter to you the most. You can tap into our large third-party library that extend what Forma can do out of the box and allow you to extend the platform with solutions that you need. So together, all these 5 capabilities help you explore, evaluate, and collaborate your work more seamlessly. Let's take a video and walk you through the experience. We begin by creating a new project site. The sites are connected to ACC, which ensure that the work is part of the rest of your work in detail design. Once the project name is defined, you type an address and crop a boundary of data sets in the world. Forma locates that site and it defines exactly the area you want to work on. Then Forma allows you to bring contextual data. You can order contextual data from different sources. These data sets vary in quality depending on the region, but they allow you to set up your site very quickly using Esri terrains, building footprints, 3D buildings, and surroundings that give your model contextual accuracy. If you need something that is richer or more reliable, Forma also provide a premium contextual data for a price where you can get higher resolution LOD buildings, more accurate parcels, and an extended premium data sets. From here, you establish your site limits. The site limits define where is exactly the extent of your project and where are the area that you want to analyze. This is important because define the extent of your analysis. Once your site boundary is set, you can start creating proposals. Proposals are different design options that can be duplicated. And you can think of proposal as separate design scenarios that share common base layers. The base layers are terrain, context, imported geometry, and giving you the same common denominator to iterate design options. You can explore different massing alternatives, giving you more control to edit them separately while keeping the same baseline layers in the same place. Inside the proposal, you can start shaping projects using simple building representation like line buildings. These are simple linear volumes defined by editable control points. These points can be adjusted. You can just click on those control points and you can stretch them, move them, or reshape them and define your massing intent. And this is a quick, easy way to present conceptual building representations on site that can give you some area capacities. If you want something that is a little more grounded, you can try a different type of tool. We have something called base buildings, where you draw a footprint and then you extrude it perpendicular to the terrain. This is perfect for quick tests or early block studies. Also, Forma gives you access to a more advanced modeling tools. This is called 3D Sketch, which unlocks a more rich and fluid modeling environment. In 3D Sketch, you can work directly with vertices, with edges, with points, and you can shape and modify the built-in form by modifying and moving this basic geometry. 3D Sketch also have built-in solid modeling tools where you can apply things like Boolean operations, for example, union or soustractions or intersections, to carve geometry and combine volumes. This let you craft conceptual mass with real architectural intent. On the screen, for example, we are making use of edges in order to make representation of roof ridges. And as you make changes to your volumetrical design, notice how on the right side you have a metrics panel reporting the areas live updated as you make changes in design. This gives you complete control over the intent, programmatic intent, and give you precise tools to represent model intent. So you can see just in a matter of seconds, I'm able to create a site representation of multiple buildings in a same product environment. I can duplicate this proposal and create different configurations and create comparative studies to propose to our clients. So when you are ready to collaborate, Forma also make it very simple. Forma has built from the very beginning as a collaborative tool. You can invite teammates, project internal or external project members using an email or via share links. You can also save camera locations or perspective views that can be utilized consistently across different analysis results. On the screen, for example, I'm saving a perspective view that can be reutilized across different proposals in the comparative tools during the analysis portion of the exercise. Once you have set up the proposal, like I was saying earlier, you can invite somebody to collaborate via email. You can add a custom message. You can create a shared link and embed it into an email. And these allow collaborators to join the project and join you in reviewing your conceptual design. Because Forma is cloud-based, everyone sees the model at the same time, with the same data, with the same updates in real time. Once the design is taking shape, you can start applying Forma analysis tools. Forma includes a growing suite of integrated environmental analysis, including sun hours, daylight, wind, microanalysis, noise, and more. You can run this analysis directly on the proposal you're working on without exporting it or switching tools. Each analysis gives you a panel with feedback that you can use to evaluate how your design decision affect performance. The compare tool allows you to look at multiple analyses on the same proposal and compare different proposals side by side. And you can visually test trade-offs. For example, what's the impact of a height of a massing versus daylighting performance, wind comfort, microclimate, and see which design option best align with your goals. Using the analysis legend, you can filter results so you can focus on specific value ranges, making it easier to isolate problems, highlight opportunities, and make recommendations on amassing changes. All this work then can be moved into Forma Board. And Forma Board is our collaborative space designed to keep our team aligned. This is where you collect visual, metrics, screenshots, analysis, early design ideas, and organize it in an infinite white space where you can organize boards by topic, you can organize your design history by phase, or share portions of these elements in frames that can be presented as proposals to teammates, clients, and presentations. It's really a communication space. It tells the story of your design. It can help you gather feedback from stakeholders. You can build alignment between Forma results and Revit. So together, all these capabilities, which is a end-to-end workflow, illustrates how you can support early-stage decision-making while staying connected by the full Autodesk ecosystem. On the screen, for example, we are creating different frames, align them using very intuitive alignment tools, and getting our frames ready for a customer presentation using very intuitive tools and markup tools, texts, notes with issues assigned to specific team members. And you can use this both as a design review space as well as a way to present your project. Note that, as I said in the earlier, that board is planned to support all the ACC ecosystems. So pretty soon we will have more announcements on how this tool connects with the rest of our desktop tools. All right, so how do you access Forma? If you have the AEC Collection, you already have Forma, so it's a matter of enabling the entitlement. You can also get it for 30 days for free, or buy it as a standalone. And if you're a student, you can get it for free for up to a year, and it can be renewed as long as you maintain student status. All right, we're halfway the presentation, and let's switch gears because now I want to show you where we're heading. I want to introduce to Forma Building Design. It's our new cloud-based application announced at Autodesk University this year, and it's part of our ongoing evolution of the Forma platform. Our goal is to address some of your challenges, in particular the gap between early conceptual stage and detailed BIM modeling, and give you a preview of where we stand right now with the product development and allow you to sign up to provide us feedback. Now, because this product is still under development, please note that, oops, sorry, I have to. Please note that the safe harbor statement that I mentioned at the beginning, the capabilities that I'm about to show you may or may not reflect the final release of capabilities, so please be cautious about that. All right, let's go next. Let's look at the challenges we're trying to address with building design. Many design teams start their projects using intuitive modeling tools like Rhino or SketchUp. Forma has some of those capabilities as well. But when it's time to move that into detailed design, we have to rebuild the entire model again to reach the appropriate level of detail. So that transition is not smooth. Conceptual models don't have an underlying data structure needed for documentation, which lead in a lot of rework and unnecessary errors. So there is a gap between the design intent from the massing environment to the technical documentation that is needed for delivery. So the goal here is to bridge that gap. Our goal is to provide a continuous digital thread where your ideas can evolve naturally without losing data. At the same time, we aim to introduce new capabilities that let you explore design options faster, generatively, and ensuring that iterations carry intelligence and design intent. To give you a sense where we are, here is a proposal in site design. The starting point could be a geometry imported from Rhino. When you move Forma building design, you can select the geometry you want to work with and convert it into a more detailed building model. As you continue enriching the model, you gain more accurate breakdown of element categories. It will help you understand its level of detail and its level of development. Once the conceptual design is approved, you can send it to Revit through the cloud. And Revit also acts as a bridge that connects it with other disciplines, like electrical, mechanical, structure, using ACC or the forthcoming building data management. The best part is every element created in Forma building design transfer into Revit elements, preserving categories, dimensions, and relationships as they were modeled. Let's take a look at another challenge we attempt to solve using building design. We see that real-world projects need a representation of modular systems. Many different building types like multifamily, housing, hotels, office buildings, commercial buildings, include elements that need to be repeated, like in modular facades, different unit types, stack configurations that follow a systematic pattern distribution. However, our traditional modeling tools often fail at creating this type of pattern representations. Each of the instances are represented as a unique element, which make it very difficult and complex to work on design iterations. So what we're attempting to do now is to change that. And our approach is to build a tool that support repetitive elements in modular design distributions, allowing you to design with more intent from the very beginning. You can create automated modules, define repetition rules, and let the system to regenerate changes as form and proportions are adjusted. So when you move a facade, or change a building height, or modify a window pattern, the entire model updates automatically and maintains consistencies. With this modular approach, you can focus on exploring variations, optimize performance, and maintain architectural intent. Let's take a look at this in action. This is Forma Building Design. It's a web environment where you can create a building footprint very quickly. I can choose from several preset building typology like residential, office, mixed use, and specify the number of levels. Once I confirm the number of floors, the system generates a base massing and let me push and pull the shape and explore different forms. I can move edges, I can adjust proportions. I can also create open pedestrian passage. I can also automate updates in real time as you make changes live. I added a second building. This is a little more taller with residential topology. And I can modify multiple facades, tweaking heights, and begin building a more varied composition. And if you need to change the envelope, you can apply a different facade modules to reset the default module variation. For example, I can change the curtain wall to a 40% glass to wall ratio, and you'll see that the system automatically updates. I can reorganize the sequence of the modules in seconds. And if I want to alternate patterns between floors, I can simply change the order of the floors and the order of the facades, and they will regenerate automatically. All right. I can also switch to a floor plan. I can study unit configurations directly within an architectural floor plan. For example, I can define different apartments or condo templates and add them in a reusable library. And from here, I can copy unit types and automate the distribution across a floor plan, adjusting position and distribution ranges as needed. And you can very quickly evaluate different combinations to meet project requirements and optimize the unit mix. All right, let's move into our third challenge. We observe that many users still rely on very linear workflows. It's this kind of waterfall approach. This type of process leads to decisions that are based on incomplete information, especially when insights from other disciplines aren't available at the front end of the design. So you hand over information on a timeline across different subject matter experts, and oftentimes when that feedback comes into your hands, you are forced to go back and revisit earlier decisions, which result in significant delay and rework. With building design, we're proposing a different approach. We are focused on more results-driven design process. So instead of following a linear sequential workflow, we're trying to make this an iterative loop where you can adjust the design, testing using different analysis, compare different alternatives, and commit to a final decision. In other words, you're designing with evidence based on data-driven analysis results with immediate feedback, and is more integrated to create a more integrated design solution. Let's take a look here. In Forma Building Design, you can activate several types of analysis. In this example, we are enabling daylight analysis, showing the overall score on how much accessibility to natural daylight different facades have. This makes it very easy to see with which areas perform well, which areas require adjustments. You can run a solar exposure analysis to see how many hours of sunlight each facade receives through the day or through the year. This is key for thermal control and shading strategies. So switching from an elevation view provides another useful perspective. The power of the workflow is that you can quickly receive feedback on design updates. You can move a wall, you can resize windows, you can adjust mass, and the different analysis refreshes automatically. You can test different alternatives, compare them, keep a version control on your number of design options, and understand how each of your changes is impacted by analytical performance. I think with this approach, the analysis is a more natural, integrated part of the conceptual design process, helping you arrive at decisions based on very accurate predictions and not just assumptions. We are not only addressing exterior analysis, we're also looking into the interior. For example, you can run daylight simulations in a floor plan at the entire plate or a specific room and see how many hours of direct sunlight a space received throughout the day. This is extremely useful for validating daylight quality. You can also move a wall or reposition a window or change the size of a window, and the results automatically update. With this focus, the design process becomes a continuous exploration with immediate and quantifiable feedback. But we go beyond the environmental analysis. We're also consider the impact of carbon. So in this little clip, we're running a total carbon analysis in early conceptual stage. We define key building properties like structural system, envelope type, primary materials, interior finishes, and the system generates a preliminary carbon estimate. You can create different options with different building systems to create different readings of carbon impact. And the beauty of this is that the results are displayed, will be displayed with Autodesk Insight. If you're familiar with Insight, that's our carbon tool analysis integrated with Revit. We're making the shift, or we're integrating Insight into Autodesk Forma to allow you to dive deeper into the data and use the dashboard information to create scenarios, understand how early decisions influence the project, and this will help you create a more balanced project aligned with environmental goals. All right, with all these capabilities, I mentioned 3 different challenges in design and how Forma Building Design is addressing them. So in a nutshell, we're trying to put a tool that delivers on its purpose. We want it to be intuitive, connected, and precise, that unify conceptual design, analysis, and documentation into a single continuous workflow. And the most exciting part of this is that we are launching a closed beta program available to you. On the screen, you find a QR code where you can sign up for early access and try out all these capabilities. But we want to hear your feedback. We want to hear if this is useful for your processes and what we can do to better up our product. By registering, you will be on the wait list and will receive an invitation to the closed beta. And we love to hear from you. What excites you the most about Forma Building Design? How does it fit into your workflows? Does this capability resonate to you? How can we evolve it to address some of your challenges in conceptual design? We want to hear about you. So take a picture or bring your camera, scan the QR code. We want to see you in that wait list at the end of this presentation. With that said, we're getting close to the end of the presentation. We have one more live poll. Alexandra, if you can release it, what would you find the most exciting about these new capabilities? Maybe you love to access the real world contextual data or conceptual modeling using 3D Sketch, the analysis, Forma board, the integration with Rhino, or building design capabilities. All right, I see a lot of responses coming up, 60%, 70%, and the top responses are the building design capabilities and the integration with Revit. Yes, I think we understand that interoperability. It's key in a lot of your internal processes, and the connection with Revit is expected to become more robust during the release, at the release of building design. All right, let's get then to the open Q&A. Please follow us, scan the QR code to connect with me on LinkedIn, and let's open up the next 3 minutes for any open Q&A. I have not seen the Q&A panel, but let's see if I can identify one, or if Robin or Alexandra can help me address 1 or 2 questions.
Yep. We have one from Melissa. Can the model transfer from Forma into an existing Revit template?
Yeah. You can, I just showed at a very high level the major capabilities of site design, and I did not have time to go into some of the interoperability workflow we have in place. We offer a free Forma add-in for Revit available directly from Forma or at the marketplace of extensions in Forma that enable you to install the plugin in the Revit environment. Now, if you start a Revit template from scratch, you will have the same, and you save a file as an RTE, you will have access to the Forma plugin where you can transfer Forma elements and save it as an RTE in case you want to use it as a placeholder for, or a baseline for most of your projects. So yeah, the answer is yes. I just don't have time to demonstrate it live. Yeah, Robin?
Yeah, so we have a question from Carlos. Is Formit going to be included in this new way of designing?
Yeah, Format. I don't know if the audience know what Format is. This was our fluid modeler tool that launched maybe about 10 years ago, and it's been in the market ever since. It didn't had a lot of traction as established modeling tool in the industry. We sent a notification early this year about the end of the life cycle of Format. And yes, the FYI, the development tool and the tool sets of Format has been migrated into Forma, and it's slowly appearing as new capabilities in the 3D Sketch portion of Forma Site Design. I think if you are a Forma user, you might be pleased of these incorporation of Format capabilities into Forma, and please take a look at it and tell us what you think. All right. Yeah. Maybe
We're
one
at
more.
time. Yeah, I think I'll combine three of these questions into one, and they're all kind of similar. So, is site design and building design the same license, or is it separate? Is it part of the collection? And then when can people get access to it?
Okay, thanks, friend. Robin. Um, yes, Forma it's already offered as part of the AEC collection. So if you have a license of the AEC collection, you already have Forma. It's also offered as a standalone product. Go to our landing page to know how to purchase it. And if you're a student, you get it for free up to 1 year. All right, we are at time. A copy of this recording will be available to you within the next 48 hours. And thanks everybody for connecting. Stay tuned for more of these webinars about more advanced capabilities and new offerings. And thanks for connecting with us. Have a great rest of the day wherever you are.